evening to all my viewers, and good morning to some of my viewers who might be watching it from my India. So this is a project that I had made for my finals in my college in the subject of Foundation of Information Systems. The project uh, the project that I have made is a dashboard, analytical dashboard that can be used as to analyze the global sales of a e-commerce company. I have used a simple data set from Kaggle as an example to make this model, and we can replace it. We can replace the data source by our numerous forms. Like, we can say, if someone's using Microsoft Forms, any employees are using Microsoft Forms to enter data, then still it works. If we are going to pull some data from our data clusters, we can pull out data from there. Or let's say we can just web scrape the data from a website to analyze a particular group of things. So that's what my main motive about behind this project is. And as we can see, it's streaming analytics. It means that the records are getting updated every second. So as soon as an entry comes into our database, our dashboard gets updated at the real time. So that's what I have made, and let's start with the showcasing of my project that I have made. So basically, this is our dashboard, and that is how it's gonna look. So this is how it's gonna look, where we can see there are specific 4 continents, 4 regions. We can say Africa, Asia Pacific, Europe, Latin America, and USA. Here we have mode of shipments. Then we have first class, same day parcel, second class parcels, standard parcel. Then we have 3 categories, we can say segments, that is office supplies, furniture, and technology, where again it gets divided into many other products. Then we have beneath that we have a donut chart and a pie chart. I just use a little bit of my creativity over here. Like the donut chart, which is on the outer side, that is count of quantity by segment. So which segment has more number of sales, it actually explains that thing. And the inner pie chart, it shows profit per segment. So which segment is making us more profit. Now some might think that it doesn't make sense. If there's more sales, then there's more profit. But as we can see over here, that this is a screenshot again. As we can see over here, that the consumer, which is around 53%, so has 53% of sales. And we can see over here that the sales doesn't match up that much with the profit. And we can also see the home office segment, where there's a profit of just 8% and has a much better which has a much better sales as comparison. So it doesn't depend that how much sales and profit, like how it doesn't depend that if there's big sales, it's gonna be having that much having a huge magnitude of profit. Then we have next to it we have this hierarchical tree, we can say. That's like the product, and then we have all the products. So here we can see that binders, chairs, storage. So here we can see that which product is going more into which segment. So basically here, as of this screenshot, we can see that binders, 39 products are 39 39 clients are from the consumer part of our sales. Then 17 clients are from like home office, and 14 of are from corporates. So like we can study about how each and every product is going into which category of our clients, right? And then we have one more chart of average of profit and sum of shipping cost by discount. So basically this scatter plot just shows us that how the shipping cost, the profit, how the profit is proportional to the discount more over here. So it is basically like if it's 0%, then it has a good profit. So like products have less discount, it has good profit. It means, and here the sum of shipping cost. So the sum of shipping cost is like, again, it's green, blue and red. That the shipping cost is represented by the colors over here. So it shows clearly, it shows to us that the more it shows us over here that there's if it's more profit and less discount, it has a less shipping cost. But if we see over here that's red, which means there's more shipping costs behind it. And then there comes the blue one over here, which is either way neutral. Next to it we come to the bar charts where we can say orders, delivery days and shipping cost by country. Again, here's a comparison between number of orders, how many days it takes, and the average shipping cost by country. So as we can see, at particular this point of time of where the screenshot is taken, we can see that United States that has like orders around 150 orders, and we can see that there are very less, it has a very less shipping cost, and delivery days are also relatively less over here. Then we have China where the sales, which is second in sales after America, which has around 68 orders, I think around 68, yeah, most probably. So there's a sudden rise in shipping cost. So basically it's on the east side of the world, so I think that's a factor that there's more shipping cost over there. And then it goes same for like the countries, it depends on geolocation, it says. And then we can see Turkey, right? So Turkey has a very less shipping cost over there. So basically we can study about shipping cost and the number of delivery days average a parcel takes to get delivered. On top of it we have top 5 selling products. So basically it's represented by number of sales and the profit it generates. So at present, like globally, we have the top 5, as we can see on our slices on top right, that we have selected select all, so it goes globally over here, and we can see that these are the top 5, and there are the charts which shows us the blue area represents number of sales, and the pink one represents number of profit. Above it we have this table kind of thing, that's we can say a report card in Microsoft Power BI, and there we can see country-wise data of top 10 to 12 countries by business. So it's good to, like, if somebody is going to study on how the company is performing country-wise and is there any scope to expand our business, then it's a good study, because we have over here we have countries, total customers, the sales, and the profit it's generating, the whole country wise. So we have top 10 to 12 countries over here, and then we come again back to the top. So on the top, center top, we can see total customers, how many countries are participating in our business, how many cities we are covering, how many provinces we are covering, and how many orders have been placed. Then we have total sales, total profit, and average discount which is being offered to the clients. So basically it doesn't mean that we are giving discount on an average to a client, but again it is like we are just on an average what is the discount running throughout the products. So that is how it's working. And we have the world map over here where we can see the circles. So the larger the circle is, there's the more number of sales, and the more green it's more profit. And the blue ones represent the average sales, and then we have some reds which are like doing some which is going into, we can say, loss. And then there's the blue circles which I mistakenly said that less numbers. No, blue color represents average profit, not way too high, not way too less. So it's like between neutral. So that is how my dashboard is, and I hope I explained it well. Also, it's my first time presenting it in the form of video recording, so I hope I have impressed you. So basically that's how it's going to work. Now we come to our workflow. Basically it's a theory part of my presentation, so let's start with it. So in data source, as I told, that we can pull data in various forms. So basically I just did it with CSV file right now to show an implementation, but yeah, I can do it in all of these forms, whether it's elastic pools, whether it's a cluster of database, web scraping, or we can use Google Forms or Microsoft Forms. Basically that's how it works. And then we have the Python code. So I used Python code to pull data, and that's I used the Python code to pull data from CSV. We can use the same thing to pull data from either from forms or like elastic pools, even web scraping using the request libraries, and that I mentioned in the description over here. So we do need sometimes we do need a push and pull URL. If pull URL in the form of connection strings, if we are working with a very closed network project. It depends on if we are working for an organization or we are just doing a freelancing project. So it depends on how you're working. Then comes the Azure cloud, which plays a pretty much important role over here. So what happens is we have this thing, we have the data source that the data is pulled by Python code, and the Python pushes the data with the help of the push connection string to Azure IoT Hub. My Azure IoT Hub has an IoT device which gets its data transmitted to Stream Analytics job as an input stream. Now I will show it to you in the Azure practically. I'll just explain it right now. And in the output stream, we have SQL. We have a SQL dashboard, we can say, where we can just write a query over there to aggregate the data the way we want, to modify the data we want in our output application or any platform we want. And then over there in output stream we can We can again choose. We have many options like Power BI service, or we can say if we want in Azure Synapse Analytics, if we want it in Databricks, we can choose that option. Or either let's say if we want to just store it in any type of PostgreSQL database, or we can say MySQL database or Azure database, we can store, like, we have pretty much some options that Azure gives us in this one. So that is how it works. Now let's come to the final phase. So over here, as you can see, I just outstreamed my data to the Power BI service dataset. So basically, I tried creating my SQL database, Azure SQL database in Azure Cloud, which I wanted to, but there was some issues, technical issues in connecting my SQL database to Power BI desktop, which was not resolved after researching a long time. So I just decided to go with Power BI service dataset, which is basically, we can say, one hub data lake. So I created my Power BI service dataset over there. Again, we need a group ID. I think so. We need a group ID to connect our output stream in streaming analytics job to Power BI service dataset, so it can push data to our dataset over there. Then I used Power BI desktop. Basically, I have a Mac, so I used a Windows laptop to create my dashboard and pretty much do the whole analytics design over there. And then after all, I just published the dashboard. So after publishing it, it just makes our dashboard more independent, platform independent, we can say. You can open it anywhere pretty much, like as I'm going to show you on my Mac. Basically, it opens up on anywhere. So this is my dashboard right now. As I told you, like, we don't have any data right now, so it's blank pretty much, as you can see. So the reason behind it is, as an individual right now and a student, I can't pay, like, I can't financially, I don't have that much, I'm not that financially strong to run this thing 24 hours a day if it has to run second by second. So I just I just start my streaming job once if I have to present it somewhere. So it's good for me because it will run for like 2 hours straight, second by second, for free. If I wish to go beyond that for 24 hours, second by second, I need to pay to Azure, which is a little bit expensive. So that's what I do. But again, as I showed you over here, that like that is how our dashboard is going to be once data streaming comes inside, right? So let's start with it. So this is my, as you can see over here, this is my Power BI service where I just published my dashboard. So I'm using a trial of 55, like it gives us 60 days, and in 60 days they give us a Power BI Pro trial. So pretty much we can do like creating workspace, and we can create reports. We can share the reports to any team, or let's say I have to share my dashboard right now to my professor. So I think that's the best option I did taking up. I preserved it for the first 4-5 months, but I had the need over here right now, so I just thought that okay, let's do it. So I did it. So basically that's how you can see the blank values everywhere over here. So let's start with it, and let me show you my code. So this is my code. So we have I imported IoT Hub device client message, import time, import JSON, because we are using the format of JSON over here. Then this is a connection string of IoT Hub in Azure to where I will be pushing the data. As I told you, like I'm reading data from a CSV file at present. If I had to demonstrate it to an industry or make this dashboard for a company, I could surely do it by scraping data or just taking the data directly from their, we can say, web apps using our web sockets. So at this moment I'm just doing it like this. So I have that whole data stored in as a data frame, and then that's my code. I think the code's too short, and I think I don't need to explain, as it's a very basic project for some of you, and I'm just starting. I'm trying to I'm just in the basic levels of data analytics and science, and I wish to create all these things in a way more professional way. So let me just give you some very short explanation that this is a for loop. I'm reading one row of data every second, and then I'm passing on the value to over here as a dictionary, and we can see that z is equal to z plus 1. So every time the loop runs, the value of z is incrementing, and then I have a time dot sleep of 1.8 seconds. So basically 1 second was too fast, so I thought let's do it 1.8 seconds. So I did that thing. So now let's start with running our streaming. So my streaming job is already started, as I showed you. I'll just have to start my Python code which will just push the data. So as you can see, the data has been starting to push over here. As one more thing is, I had more of the rows, but I chose very specific rows to push it. So that also makes sense. Again, if we are working on data virtualization, where we need to only pass some data to the analyst in our company as a data science engineer, then pretty much this works over here, that we just pass some of the columns that are specifically needed to study, right? So as I showed you, that our streaming dashboard analytics dashboard was blank. Now let's see again what happens. So as you can see, the data has start coming. Everything's moving, right? So as you can see, everything's moving over here. Things are getting, you can see in the world map that some of the places we have the red circles. It means we are less in profit. And now you can see the circles turning slowly into purple, then blue, and then it will finally turn green. So right now, some of the circles, they are in blue. They are going to turn green again later on, sorry. And here we can see right now that these are the top 10-12 countries over here, where you can see the shipping cost is going way up. Then we can see at present Australia is the top country in their sales and profit, and slowly and steadily we can see that the number of customers are increasing. The countries from which we are getting orders, how many cities are going on to doing business with us. These are the total orders, total sales, total profit, and this is a small analysis of our, we can say, shipment category, which our logistics department can study on. And then we have sales by category for our sales team, where you can see which specific category is getting more sales. And we have one more chart which I forgot to explain while presenting the presentation. As you can see, we have four types of four types of orders, that is medium, high, critical, and low. So it basically means what we can say is, if it's a very critical situation, the customer wants to get the delivery of the order, a high priority order or a medium. So we can see that there's a very high shipment cost of critical orders, right? And we can see high priority orders have a little bit of less right now, but as the time goes, I don't know if it's going to increase. It might increase, and that is our top category, our top 5 products category, where things gonna change. Now let's come over to our slices over here. Okay, I think it's a little bit getting stuck. I clicked on Africa, and we have African continent map, where we can see we have countries like Angola, Democratic Republic of Congo, Algeria, Morocco, Nigeria participating in the business with us, and we can see how the sales are going on. We can also see how good profit, is there a good profit, or it's a loss. So basically we can see Nigeria there's a little bit of profit issues. And we have Asia Pacific. So in Asia Pacific we cover all these countries, that is like from Middle East to Australia, New Zealand. We have I don't know the name of the countries in the Middle East. So we have some of the countries over here, that's like UAE and all that. We have China, Bangladesh, India, Myanmar, Vietnam, and all those countries over here in the Southeast Asia. We have Australia, New Zealand even participating. Then we go over to Europe. Okay, we have good countries over here too, as we can see: United Kingdom, France, Germany, Netherlands, Italy, Vienna. So what we can see over here is, you can see there are some red dots. So it also tells us about the geography of these countries, and I think it's about the orders too. Then we go to the American continent, which is the south. So here we can see Mexico. Basically this is Latin America, so it covers the majority part of our South American continent. And then we have US Central, that's north. So that's how it works for all the slices over here. Now selecting all, it will again come back. So one more thing that I forgot to mention over here with the slicer thing is, when we click on, let's say if we click on Latin America, you see the charts, it shows totally everything about Latin America over here. If we select Africa, it's going to show us Africa. But again, The problem with slices in real-time streaming analytics is every second when the chart gets upgraded, your slices lost the whole onto the analysis part. That's what I feel. I might not know 100% that it might not be happening like that, but yeah, there might be a chances. So that was my dashboard, and as you can see the dashboard right now, we have 112 customers. So let's go to the backstage, the backend thing, and I'll explain you the backend thing, how it's working. After I explain, we'll come back again to this dashboard to see the updated values. So this is my code which is sending data, as you can see over here. And then so this is my Azure cloud. So I created a resource group which basically has only two things. It was going to have three things, but Azure SQL database didn't work up linking to PowerBI desktop, so that I had to drop it at the last moment and go to with the another backup option which I had already designed. So let's start with the IoT hub. So here I can show you we have the devices over here where we can connect, we can add our devices, what all devices we have, just by clicking on add a device over here. Once we create a device, we have device ID, primary key, secondary key, primary connection string, secondary connection string. So primary connection string, so this is the string that we need to connect our device. So if I had a Raspberry Pi running over here, I could have just if this were to be my Raspberry Pi code, I could have just put on this variable connection and pasted my connection string to that thing. I worked on the Raspberry Pi streaming 2, creating a dashboard, real-time dashboard with Raspberry Pi, and that's pretty much the same thing what I explained. So you over here we can add how many devices, how many our devices we want until and unless it's like in the free category. If we are going with a paid project, you can pay like we can pay to up to some extent how our client wants, and then we can also add IoT edge devices over here too. Deploy Azure services and solution specific code to on-premises devices. So it basically is like if you are working like in the organization network, that works pretty much well. And then we have this thing, as you can see, total number of messages used, like 2000 for in one day. Like as I was making this project, and I was just running up to the final trials. So I used like we have 8,000 transaction messages every day for a free service, and as you can see I just used 467 today. So I pretty much have much of the portion left to use up. So if I just keep this running for next 2 hours, still I'm free to run this thing. Over here we can see total IoT devices. I just have one, but again, as I said, that if we have a database, then that to which we have to pull the data and push it, then we can use one IoT device for our database. Then if we want to web scrape, again we can use one more if you want, or what we can do is in the Python itself we can simultaneously web scrape the data and access the database from the same in the same code and aggregate it and send it in our own in our own desired design. But if it were to be accessed in some other language, then of course we can create IoT device over there or in the IoT device section and just connect that service or application and streaming the data to our streaming analytics job. So let's move on to streaming analytics jobs now. So this is streaming analytics job. So this plays a major role in, it's like a middleware, the middle person we can say, which has a very important role to play in. It's a very free application that Azure has provided, Microsoft has provided us. You can see no code editor. Like if someone is coming from a non-coding background, again, they can use it. It's totally good to use this thing if a person is really interested in this type of projects like streaming analytics, which I found rarely even on YouTube. And let's start with it. So streaming analytics jobs topology has basically 3 to 4 parts inside it. The first one being the input. So input is from where our data is going to come. Functions, where we can use ML Studio or Azure Studio, where we can just use our machine learning algorithms to study data, predict data over there. Then there's a query which shows where we can run our query. I just written one query over here, but we can use multiple queries over here if you have multiple inputs, multiple outputs. So basically you can tunnel your data, modify your data, tunnel your data in whatever way we want. We can use functions over here, which we have developed inside the functions job over here, the machine learning functions. So basically we can use the functions too over here, and that's how it's going to work. And we have the output part over here. So you can see BI output. So that is what I have created. So in the input one, I use the finals IoT hub. So finals IoT hub is the IoT hub that I created from where the data is going to come. And then we have output, where I just created this output stream which I have connected to my PowerBI. And again, this is not my organizational email ID. Like many of you might be surprised that I use a personal email ID in Azure and a Power BI desktop, which has a, like, we can say, permission of organization. So the thing is, I just given the rights from this account to my college ID account. So that's how it gets connected. And now let's see our dashboard again. So here you can see the customers have increased to 80 customers. Let's refresh the page once. I think my internet is down. I'm very sorry for my internet connection, but I'll try to connect to a different Wi-Fi and let's see if it works for me. Okay, we are back. And I'm very sorry for that. So yeah, so we can see we have 91 customers. It's been updated, and everything's moving again. So everything is working fine again, but again, there'll be no problem in analytics if a technical issue happens like this, because everything's online. So basically doesn't like nothing's to do with your computer, because it's in the Power BI service. And the only problem that we can face over here is, as you can see over that, we had some Azure exception over here caught in background thread. That's because of internet connectivity, that internet was down. But yeah, there might be a lag of 2-3 seconds if the internet is down, or like we can say more 5 minutes if the internet is down and our IT team is backing it up. But pretty much that's how it's going to work. So everything's going fine. And one more feature that I liked about Power BI service, and what Microsoft did very well was, let's say this is my presentation, and we can see that the dashboard is working live over here too in our presentation. Basically it's a Power BI plugin. It's not that updated, but I think if we refresh it over here, it's going to. So at present, just because of that issue of internet connectivity, it was not that updated, but it is just getting updated as your values it is receiving, particularly this report. But it is working way good over here, as you can see in the Power BI service report that I just published. So that was basically what I built. And using Power BI desktop, like if we are not pro or premium users, basically more specifically, if we are not premium users, we can't refresh our data like every second. Power BI gives us 30 minutes to refresh our data. So I created this thing using free service, without using the 1 second refresh interval from Microsoft. I used I used I used a plugin, visual plugin called Play Axis, which refreshes every second as it goes through every value in a row, in a column. Sorry. So what basically it does is I created one more table beside the sales table, where I just I just had to insert some values, like we can say 100K or 1 million, we can say, if we have that amount of data. So I just run that plugin usual through that data, which I created side by side of this particular sales table. So every time that play axis refreshes, this table is also going to refresh on the same side, and if that table refreshes, it means our dashboard gets refreshed every second. So that is how my dashboard works. But again, the future aspect of creating this thing is I just want to create this using my Python, Plotly, uh, and use services like Kafka, Confluent, which I have not used it, but I wish to learn it, and I just want to create an open source that's totally free to create. Like, we can create static dashboards, analytical dashboards for free, pretty much using any softwares like Tableau or Power BI service, or any software that is in the market right now. But it is not that easy to make a streaming analytics dashboard in this detail for free. We need to pay, unless until we are working for an organization who pays for creating this type of stuff, right? So I feel that completing this project for the future goals, I think I will try to I will not try, but it's compulsory that I'm gonna tell myself, like, I need to learn this Kafka, Confluent, and all those kind of different libraries and platforms which we can try to create a free streaming analytical dashboards with details of this good type, so we can create it for way lesser money than using these services. Of course, these services are dedicated and they are good, but again, we need to pay a hell lot of amount money for this. So that's my future aspect regarding streaming analytics, and that's all. I just want to end, and that's how it works. As you can see, our business is as we are crossing 350 plus now total customers. So our business is increasing in countries, almost like the major good countries. We have a good sales and profits in developed countries like North America, Asia, China, like. And we have a good market in Europe, in the developing countries like Bangladesh, India. We are good in Latin America. Also, our sales is developing side by side with a good profit, we can say, a neutral profit. And that my analysis shows that we probably need to work on the African continent, where we can see there is a very less sales and even less profit. So that's how my analytical dashboard can help learn about our business, on what to work on and what not to. So that was it. I hope you liked it, and this was my first video presentation. If I have done some mistakes, you can comment down below this video, but I would appreciate having feedbacks from this. if some experts, even if some experts are seeing this video, I feel I should receive feedback, and if there's anything much to do with or develop more regarding this project that I have made, feel free to comment down below in my video. And that's all. Thank you guys. I love this project, and I think I'm going to make more creative dashboards and more developed dashboards using streamed data directly from internet to make some potential in some potential fields which can make impact and be used for free up to some extent by people who really need it. So that's my motive entering into data science and analytics. And that's all. Thank you guys. Hope you like this video. I'll be uploading more videos in future as I go by developing myself and making this kind of projects. That's all. Thank you guys.